What's up, FHN? I'm Camden.
I'm Vanessa.
And welcome back to this week's episode of The Nightly Show.
Last week, we celebrated the Journalism Education Association's Scholastic Journalism Week. This year's theme was Here to Stay, as we celebrate 100 years of the GEA and their commitments to journalism since 1924. They celebrated with daily themes including First Amendment, Journalism Then, Journalism Now, Student Press Freedom Day, and Journalism Next.
Our goal in journalism is to show important stories and shed light on impactful stories. And there's no better example than this video on the NAACP made by Sassy Garcia and Harper Schneider.
Our mission of the NAACP in general as national is what it stands for is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. The NAACP as a whole has been around since 1909. Our chapter in St. Charles County has actually been around since 2004. And so I actually just came into my role in January of last year, of 2023. As far as in my year of being president, a lot of the wins have been the biggest one, I would say, is the most recent one, which is just working with the community, working with the students, and pushing back on the removal of these Black history classes. The biggest thing that we have is with our education and our schools within St. Charles County, and as a whole, I've gotten more calls about St. Charles County schools than any other calls.
Apparently, I would say they're doing a good job at getting the community to come and speak out about the FHSD school board's decisions. I think they do a good job at making sure people are aware of what their legal boundaries are and ensuring that protest and advocacy can happen through a safe.
I believe there is strength in numbers. We work really heavily with the Missouri Equity and Education and going down to Jefferson City and just advocating for bills that are going to help protect students, kids, families that align with our core beliefs. We will fight for equality for all people.
They did stuff for Martin Luther King's Day. They had a walk.
We encourage all the youth who they want to participate. We have a lot. We have actually had someone just call in and donate to sponsor 5 youth who want to join the program as well.
I'm the only kid in the youth chapter at the moment. I don't know, I guess like a way to get more youth to join is to just keep being vocal about it, and eventually there will be youth who are interested in it that will want to join.
So the youth have an incredible role. That a youth program is actually quite unique with the NAACP chapter because they don't have an overseer. Like our members, I'm like the president, but the youth, they have a youth president and they just have someone to help guide them. My goal when I came in is to help to bridge the gap. I feel like there is a lot of division that is going on within our county. And so I reached out to a number of organizations in St. Charles County to see how can we work together. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I want to partner with the community because I believe in the cohesiveness of us all together. I just had a community member a week ago call out about a neighbor complaint. And so we offered to buy them a camera for their home if they'd offer them protection. So that is what we're about. We want to be able to be a help to the people in St. Charles County. We want to be able to be a help to anyone who needs it. I've been, over the last year, have been working really closely with bringing out some type of courses with our local FBI. I think that what we do not realize and do not talk about as much, how teens are affected with suicide, how teens are affected with sextortion. I don't think that people realize how the suicide rate has increased astronomically. And so I just met with the FBI a few weeks ago for a yearly recap and trying to work with that organization to be able to offer tools to parents and to students and how to navigate around that is important. And that's something we look forward to doing. I think for us, we want to set the tone that for our local branch, that we want to build community. We want to help uplift and support the community in any way that we can. We want to be a bridge to unity. And so that is what our goal is. That is what we're going to focus on. And that's what we'll continue to do.
Thanks, Sassy and Harper.
Community is a really big part of our lives.
For sure. Speaking of community, the Drama Club is performing the 25th annual Putnam Spelling Bee at the FHN Auditorium from March 13th to 15th.
And last Wednesday, FHN had our annual prom fashion show, spotlighting our juniors and seniors, as well as the suits and dresses that they modeled. In case you missed it, here's a video by Nigel Bailey on the show.
I am the junior class sponsor, so within that realm we plan prom, and then our big fundraiser is prom fashion show. So I would say I am the adult liaison for the event. This money goes back towards our prom that will be held for our juniors and seniors. We also have a portion of the money that we raise from this that goes to students who are unable to financially attend. They financially can't afford to attend, so we can help supplement for them. I started, like I said, in 2012, and it had previously been going on with the prior advisor, Mrs. Moore. I think it'd be a great opportunity. I think it's a fantastic fundraiser. I think it does a great job showcasing the fashions for prom for the season. I am hopeful that next year, like within our own building, more students become more involved. This was one of our lower numbers in participations. And I also am hopeful that I can find some new stores as well for dresses, because we lost one of our big stores.
Prom fashion show is basically a way for the people in the boutiques who like own the dresses and stuff to show off and showcase their dresses. And it's just a really cool, fun way to dress up and do a little fashion show and also help like support a boutique or a business. It'll basically consist of walking in a line, kind of showing off, doing poses. If you do a talent, just makes the event more fun. It's just a really fun way to kind of have fun and do a little fashion show for free.
Special outfits for a special occasion. And on the topic of special occasions, save the date, NHS inductees, because March 5th is the induction ceremony for all new NHS members from 7 to 8 p.m. at FHN.
NHS works to recognize students who go above and beyond. Lauren Rentas isn't just a student at FHN, she also manages her own business alongside being a student. Jayda Reece gives us a look into what Lauren's life is like.
Have you ever tried to learn a skill or tried to learn a career, but you felt that it was too difficult to pursue? Well, today we will explore the life about a girl who did a small business in her house, and she pushed through her skill and persevered. After all, learning a skill is hard, so let's see if she has what it takes.
I've been doing nails for about like a year and like 3 months, 2 months. My mom, she's a nail tech. She started doing nails and she works in a salon. She worked in a salon. So ever since I was little, I've just been like watching her. And yeah. I think my sister and my brother, because they're always anytime I need to practice, I can just do their nails. And they always support me and buy me stuff.
She started like maybe 3 years ago. At first her nails were bad, but I'm super proud of how far she has come. Like, they're really good right now. And I feel like the way that everybody's learning how to do nails, I think she learned pretty fast. And they're really good whenever she does the nails for Victor, my mom, everybody. So yeah.
I have a nail account, so like I see myself just like still growing. Honestly, I just say like just keep being consistent and don't give up, because there is a lot of like people, like obviously when you first start doing nails, it's like it's not gonna be the best, but you just keep getting better from there. And you're gonna have people that are like, oh, those nails are ugly, but like you just gotta like ignore them and then just keep doing your work.
Thanks, Jayda. Hardworking students are all around FHN. We congratulate the girls' swim team as their season comes to an end. Here's a recap on all their incredible work this season by Addy Jones.
Do a lot of like sprints, so 25s, which is just like one like wall, like we just do one down instead of like a down and back, and we do those on like time intervals. So like we'll do a 25 on 25 seconds or like 15 seconds or 20 seconds or something. So we have to continuously sprint, and so we get used to that sprinting.
Yeah, so I PR in my 100 backstroke. Last season I dropped 16 seconds at one of the events because that's what I do, 100 backstroke, and I love it. And then I also PR on like my 50 free and my 100 free.
Probably 50 free. That's the one I'm closest to making it in state in. I have 26, and I think to make it to state I need to drop like 1 second.
Like, you don't know how fast you're going. Like, you'll climb out of the water and you'll be like, man, that felt great. And then you'll like be like, oh, that wasn't even like my PR. Like, I gained like 3 seconds or like 4 seconds or something. Like, you have to have like a mental like timer, and you also have to have like, you have to push yourself during every single race, because it's just a very mental thing. Like, it's still physical, but you know your body's wearing out and you still have to push through that, so.
With February coming to an end, March Madness is not far behind, so be ready for some great college basketball, and make sure you stay tuned for FHN Game Days, brackets, and predictions. Continuing on in sports, there's been some big stories in multiple leagues. In football, the Chiefs signed former Bills punter Matt Araiza. In the NCAA volleyball, they have changed their rules, allowing double contacts as well as 2 liberos. Victor Wembanyama in basketball becomes the first player in NBA history to have 75 threes, 150 assists, and 150 blocks in the same season. And Justin Fields has unfollowed the Chicago Bears on Instagram, insinuating a future trade.
This weekend, the Women's Gold Cup comes to an end, and Iowa's Caitlin Clark sets a women's basketball record. For more on women's sports, here's Rhea Patel.
Hey guys, I'm Rhea, and today we're going to be talking about some women's sports news. To start off with college basketball, last Thursday, Caitlin Clark announced that this will be her final NCAA season with Iowa. This has been a record-breaking senior season for Clark, as last month she broke Kelsey Plum's record for all-time women's points. And just last Sunday, she broke Pete Maravich's record of 3,667 points, which he set all the way back in 1970. Going into the game against Ohio State, Clark was just 17 points shy of Maravich's record, and with an end score of 83-93 Iowa, of which Clark scored 35 points, she now has 3,685 points, meaning Caitlin Clark is now the NCAA's all-time leading point scorer. Moving on to women's soccer, the United States has been hosting the CONCACAF Women's Gold Cup. Now, while there have been many gold cups on the men's side, this is the first of this tournament in women's soccer. Last Monday, the U.S. women's national team lost to Mexico for the first time since 2010, and for the first time on home soil since 2000. Now, there were many reasons for the U.S. defeat, the primary being Mexico was playing a very unexpected high press, a tactic that is hardly ever done against the U.S. women's national team due to it being a very high-risk, high-reward tactic. Mexico, however, performed flawlessly, whereas the U.S. backline had some miscommunication, leading to a 2-0 loss for the States, and Mexico coming out first in the group, the U.S. coming out second. On the bright side, however, the U.S. had a very aggressive matchup against Colombia, where they played significantly better than they had the previous week, leading to a 3-0 victory against Colombia and boosting the U.S. into the semifinals against Canada. Well, that's all I've got for this week. Reporting for FHNtoday, I'm Rhea Patel.
That's enough sports for now. Moving on to pop culture, Beyonce becomes the first black woman to have a #1 song on the Billboard country chart, the Cinderella Castle in Disneyland caught fire, and Jimmy Kimmel is hosting the Oscars on the 10th.
If you're looking for what movie to see next, you actually have a new episode on your podcast, Disjointed Dialogue, about various movies that you've seen in the past year. Here is a peek at the episode.
Hello FHN, and welcome to the Disjointed Dialogue, where I pick a random topic and speak about it at length. This episode is on 2023 movies. Number 1, Saltburn. I think a lot of people misinterpreted it as being super disgusting and being bait for people who wanted to be disgusted. And I think while there's definitely some disturbing scenes, at no point is it A, disturbing movie, and at no point is it B, relying on the disturbing scenes to create enjoyment. For the full episode, visit FHNtoday.com.
To listen to the full episode, go to FHNtoday.com.
While Kanye West returns to the music scene this month with his new album, Vultures, Nathan Smith returns us to some of his classics. Closing out today's show, here's his review of Kanye West's Late Registration.
Hi, my name is Nathan Smith, and I'm going to be reviewing Late Registration. Late Registration is Kanye West's second studio album, and it is also the second album in his college trilogy, including the albums The College Dropout, Late Registration, and Graduation. Late Registration holds some of my favorite Kanye songs on it, like Gold Digger and Hey Mama. Now, some may say that Late Registration is the weakest of the 3 college trilogy albums, and I might agree with them. Late registration just doesn't stack up to Graduation and The College Dropout in terms of production and lyrics, and also in terms of just the overall listening experience. With all that in mind, I think Late Registration is still a great album, and it is an important part of Kanye West's extensive catalog. I would have to give Late Registration a 7.5 out of 10. What do you think? Too high? Too low? Let me know.
Thanks for joining us today on this episode of The Nightly Show. For more school news and updates, make sure to follow us on our socials at FHNtoday and at FHN Game Day. Once again, I'm Camden.
I'm Vanessa, signing off.